Good morning and welcome to Temple Buddhist Center's Sunday meditation service. My name is Dave and I'm honored to be of service this morning. We hope that our service finds you happy and healthy, but please know that if you are struggling in any way, we hope that Temple Buddhist Center can be a source of refuge for you as we open our hearts to you and your loved ones. Let's begin this morning with a few conscious breaths, taking a few moments to ground, to experience the body, and to breathe together. Conscious breathing is where you seal the mouth, breathe deeply through the nose, and then pause for a moment before releasing slowly so that the exhale is longer than the inhale. Let's begin. Breathing in, pausing just a moment, feeling the fullness of the lungs, and then releasing slowly. And as you release, checking in with the body, just being aware of what is present and alive in the body right now. A second conscious breath. Pausing just a moment, ventilating this precious human form, then releasing slowly. And as you release, see if you can release any worry or concerns from the week. All the energy of doing, going, striving, accomplishing. Just allow yourself a few moments to cultivate the energy of being, not doing. In a third conscious breath together. And releasing slowly. And as you release, taking time to invite into your awareness the present moment, fully arriving in the here and now. Here at Temple Buddhist Center, we like to begin the service with a chant. Chanting is an integral part of every tradition, and it's not about being a singer, it's about having a voice. And our chant today is not just a chant, but also a small lesson in humility, and I will let Victor explain how that works.
Thank you, Dave. So our chant this morning is Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekkha. These are known as the Brahma Viharas. And the lesson in humility is I forgot to change the little byline underneath that explains what the chant is. So disregard that today. Don't look at those words. The Brahma Viharas are also known as the four faces of the heart. Metta is love, Karuna is compassion, Mudita is joy or sympathetic joy, which means a win for anyone is a win for all of us. And so the ability to feel other people's joy. And then finally, Upekkha, which is equanimity. That's that steadfastness, like the lighthouse that shines brightly in fair weather or foul. And so Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekkha. That is our chant this morning. Thank you, Dave. And so let's begin with a conscious breath first, just breathing in. And let's begin. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekkha. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekkha. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, mudita upekkha. Metta karuna mudita upekkha. Metta karuna mudita upekkha. Metta karuna mudita upekkha. With a smile. Metta karuna mudita upekkha. Metta karuna mudita upekkha. Once more. Metta karuna mudita upekkha.
Here at TBC, we practice Western Buddhism. This is a blend of Eastern philosophy and Western psychology. This new and exciting form of spirituality is dynamic, inclusive, active, and focuses on core Buddhist insights, mindfulness, meditation, and their practical application in our daily life. Our goal here isn't to get everyone to agree on one lineage or philosophy. Rather, it's on cultivating a shared experience of mindfulness, oneness, and love. Whether we are chanting, meditating, or sharing from the heart, we respect that you'll participate only at the level that feels comfortable for you. We take refuge in the three jewels and acknowledge these core values as expressions of the awakened mind: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. We value awareness of our own Buddha nature as well as the Buddha nature of all beings, allowing a new perspective of this and every precious moment. The second jewel is the Dharma, the truth teachings that release us from fear and delusion and help us to realize the true nature of who we are. And finally, Sangha, our spiritual community, an essential part of growth where we practice the teachings together and support each other along every step of the path. Let's just take a moment now to silence any electronic devices and to prepare a meditative environment. And we will now recite the prayer of refuge. We will recite this together 3 times in honor of the 3 jewels. Together, in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened, through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened, through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened, through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. As we enter into a time of meditation, if you have an extensive practice, then I invite you to practice in a way that is fitting for you this morning. If you're new to meditation, we'll begin with an opening dedication. We will sound the bell 3 times. There will be a brief guided meditation, Then we'll spend approximately 12 to 15 minutes in noble silence. Let's begin by breathing together with a conscious breath. Body, speech, and mind in perfect oneness. I send my heart with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness, transcend the path of anxiety and sorrow, and realize the true nature of who they are.
And so as the sound of the bell recedes, guiding us, showing us the way to stillness. If you need to take another conscious breath or two, or to adjust your posture, whatever is necessary to partner with the body, to find a deeper level of gentleness and ease. Remembering to release the forehead and unfurrow the eyebrows. The jaw rests easy and the shoulders drop. And the belly softens. And we sink a little more deeply into the chair or the cushion. And so connected to the breath, by keeping our awareness to some degree on the rise and fall of our tummy, the body is light, spacious, gentle. We can bring our awareness now to awareness itself. Noticing when the mind becomes distracted by a sound, perhaps in the hallway, the rooms next door, or here in the meditation hall. Noticing when the mind becomes distracted by a sensation, like an itch or an ache, or perhaps a tummy rumble. Or noticing when the mind becomes distracted by a thought, or even a string of thoughts. All these things, they just come and go. They rise and fall. They're like birds across the sky, or cars going by outside. They barely register. Our practice is not so much the content, but the context of our lives. It's much more vast, broad, boundless, resting in this awareness that has room for all things to appear and disappear. Our practice is to cultivate the knower, not the things that are known. And so, connected to the breath, the body is gentle and easy. The mind is clear, yet receptive to whatever arises. And the heart is open. We can move more deeply into our meditation. I close my eyes and I see clearly. I stop trying to listen and I hear truth. I am silent, yet my heart sings. I seek no contact and find union. I am still and move forward. I am gentle and need no strength. I am humble and remain whole, returning again and again to the breath, returning again and again home. And so I invite you to remain in a meditative state as you bring your awareness to the sense door of sound, noticing the sound of my voice, or noticing the sound of the air handlers or any rustling in the room. And as you become aware of the sense door of sound, can you keep a small amount of your awareness on that still, deep silence within? That silence that is not dependent on external circumstances and is always with us. Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of touch as you notice the feeling of your clothing upon your skin, or the feeling of the chair, the cushion beneath you. And as you become aware of form and matter, material, at the same time, can you keep a small amount of your awareness on that which is formless? In other words, can you be aware of awareness itself? Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of sight as you slowly begin to open your eyes, just letting in a little bit of light, not focusing hard on anything. And as you become aware of colors, shapes, walls, people, as you begin to notice objects, the invitation is, at the same time, can you notice the space around them? As if you were looking at a negative photograph. Can you be aware of the space in this room? Can you be aware of the space around this building? Around our planet? And next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the breath as we take a conscious breath together. And as you release, become present in the here and the now, in this time and in this place. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Dave. So I ended the meditation just a few minutes early because Victor's speaking today. And we all know how long-winded he can be. With Victor, there's a very thin line between a Dharma talk and a hostage situation. So before I begin today, I wanted to comment on a couple of things. First, I wanted for us to just take a moment as we open our hearts and hold all of the people of Rolling Fork, Mississippi in our hearts. This city was recently devastated by a tornado, and so there was pretty much 100% total devastation of the city, and many deaths and much destruction. So I want to take a moment and just have a moment of silence for us to drop into our hearts and hold these beings, all these people, and just let them feel our love. Let us hold in our hearts a wish for them to find ease and comfort, to find relief as they begin to rebuild their lives, their city. And I also wanted to comment on our Temple Buddhist Center day-long silent meditation retreat yesterday. For the past 5 years, every quarter we have done a day-long silent meditation retreat, and it was unbelievable yesterday. When I say that, what I mean is we usually have around 20, 22 people to come. We had 40 people at our meditation retreat yesterday, and it was truly a very transformative and connecting and bonding. The depths that some people went to and shared with us at the end were far beyond anything that I could ever have imagined for a day-long retreat. So I just wanted to not only congratulate everybody that came on the retreat and supported each other, as well as the Sangha and Temple Buddhist Center, but to also remind everyone that we do these every quarter. We have coming up in May a 5-day silent meditation retreat. So there are lots and lots of opportunities to deepen your practice. I wasn't talking about the retreat yesterday to make anybody feel like they missed out on something. That was not the point. The point is that our Sangha continues to grow, not only in size, but in depth. There's such a tremendous depth that people are reaching in this practice, and it is just so encouraging. It's so, I don't know, I just feel all giggly inside. So it is truly a miraculous thing, and I want to thank all the volunteers and the people that helped to put on the retreat. So share that with you guys. Well, happy spring, everybody. As we know, Monday, the 20th, was the vernal equinox. How often do we get to say that, right? So the vernal equinox, we experience a balance of day and night, of light and dark, and equal amounts of the two on the same day. And so vernal meaning new and fresh, and equinox, also derived from the Latin term equus, meaning equal, and nox meaning night. So there's a little Latin lesson for the day. And so the vernal equinox marks the turning point when daylight begins to overtake the nighttime. And so the darkness and the north pole of the planet begins to lean ever so slightly once again towards the sun. And so this is the time of the year when we begin to experience more life force, or in the Eastern traditions, it's known as qi. We begin to experience a rising and a strengthening of this life force and this qi. And we begin to feel a movement towards creativity and energy within our mind-body organism. Our attention can be drawn now to much larger cycles. We begin seeing the effects of time and the seasons and changing, and it brings us out of our small focus on whatever screen is in front of us and brings us out into some of these bigger cycles, giving us a momentary pause from the busyness and the to-do lists and this collapsing down of our consciousness, and helps us to begin feeling a sense of grandeur and awe that we are a part of something so much bigger than whatever thing has fixated us at this moment. So for years as a school teacher, I yearned for spring to arrive. And what's so funny is that when it did, oftentimes I would miss it, because of the busyness, because of the hyper focus on the things that needed to be done and the places I need to go and the people I need to see. And so it was only until I opened to the Dharma, as I became aware of my spiritual practice, that I was able to be present in the world with a wonder and a sense of awe and amazement. And it was these moments that I could actually look upon a flower and just be present with it before the labels and the descriptions I was able to begin to open as the flower does, with no need for a reason, no justifications, no judgmentalism. It was just simply an opening to a vastness. And this simple awareness creates tremendous space. And we experience this oftentimes as kind of a collapsing down. Oh, my phone rang. Oh, now all of a sudden I'm right here in this little moment, and it's just this piece of plastic in this box. And then there's this expansion when we notice the seasons, the cycles, past, present, future. As the darkness diminishes and the light increases, you may feel a building of imagination and creative energy lifting this fog and this dropping off of our sleepy little winter blanket that we've been curled up in for the past few months. And in the darkest months of the year, we are encouraged by the energies to go within and be in silence, to be in solitude. There's this reflectiveness. There's this opportunity to go within and have that experience. And these energies that kind of guide us in that direction. And so where we fall into a trap, where we make this mistake, is that we go to fearing. There's a fear that generates because there's a fear that our inner world has gone dark and that the light will not return. The light will not show back up. That spaciousness is gone. And so just as the world turns on its axis and brings about the return of the light year after year, we too can rely on the return of our own light, our own energy, and the richness of our internal garden as we now broaden our attention from the smallness of our thoughts and the self-inquiry and the inner landscape to these much larger cycles. We can sense not only our place within these cycles, but these cycles within ourselves, within our own life. It is the rhythms and the cycles of the earth that show us and encourage us to, at times, rest in the darkness and allow for the light to unfold us and help us blossom without forcing anything, without the need to make something happen. We sense in all of this our own naturalness. Isn't that interesting? How natural we are. What a natural occurrence on this little rock in the middle of such a large galaxy, way off in some corner of an even larger universe. Can you feel that expansion? And when we sense our own naturalness, that we belong just like the daffodil that we admire so much, can we also admire our own beingness? Many of us live our lives so disconnected from our internal guidance that when the pull of our hearts becomes so strong and the voice inside has been muffled for so long, the feeling that arises within us feels more like a crisis instead of the emergence into something more natural. We freak out at something that isn't familiar. And of course, there's that instant negativity bias which says, oh, I'm broken, there's something wrong, instead of our own blossoming, our own flowering, our own relationship to change itself. and the awe and the wonder that can inspire, or it can inspire fear. It can inspire judgmentalism. It can inspire a sense of divisiveness and, oh, I don't want anybody to look at me. There's something going on with me and I'm not right. Isn't it funny how that's what often comes up? Instead of, oh, this is unfamiliar. Sometimes unfamiliar can feel unpleasant. And so instantly it has to be bad, wrong, I'm broken, I'm messed up, or you broke me and you messed me up, or the Congress messed me up, or politics messed me up, whatever we have to blame, right? Just insert a thing. So imagine for a moment that you have internal tides. You can almost sense them with every in-breath and out-breath. These internal tides. We do live on earth, and after all, we are made up of 75% water, so is it really so unusual that we would have tides? So imagine that you are influenced by all the amazing forces at work here in our universe, even the ones that we have yet to understand, and to have the awareness to even be able to see or sense. You experience cycles just like the earth and the sun and the moon. Though most of us do not realize how our internal states of being are influenced by these energies that are at work. Often we feel confused, restless, stuck, or even powerless to change our mindset or our state of being. The return of the light presents us with an opportunity to take the time to release our fears and surrender into new intentions and into ourselves as we grow, as we move from cycle to cycle, as we change, as we transform, as the tides roll in and roll out. Each and every moment. It truly is awe-inspiring and amazing when you can be present to it. Sometimes we live our lives so disconnected from this internal voice that we then project that onto the world, and we seem to feel like we don't belong. We don't fit in. And we forget our naturalness of being. Now is the time of celebrating the freshness of life, the freshness of renewal, that change and that transformation, the tides that roll in and roll out. They are change, and they can be unfamiliar, but they are never not natural. They are exactly what they are supposed to be at all times, even the unpleasant ones. They're just helping us to see how maybe we have veered from the path, because the path is not this straight and narrow. It has bumpers on the side like a bowling alley, and we hit those. And instead of going, oh no, everything's wrong, no, we just come to realize that everything's change. And so we begin to come back. And then, of course, we start to go this way. And now, oh, everything is so awesome. Well, just hang on. And these are those tides, right? These are those seasons, those cycles, those changes, this dance that we don't have to have, that we have to suffer through. No, we get to dance. That's the beauty of the path, of waking up to our own spirituality, our own naturalness. And so now is a time to celebrate this freshness, this newness, to raise our energy, to regenerate into this sense of abundance. And since the beginning of time, our ancestors have marked this period of the year with tremendous ritual, celebration, So I would invite each one of you to do something symbolic to honor your own place in this grand universal garden. Perhaps light a candle, say a blessing for the life force moving through this and all precious human forms. Make a commitment to go within and be silent each day to let your internal guidance know that you are listening and that you intend to have open lines of communication from here on out. Let your inner voice know that he or she, in fact, has a very important role in your life, and you are going to be listening a lot more. Set the intention to be in joy. Set the intention to navigate and familiarize yourself and be present with the constant changes, noticing the places where we are stuck or the places where we are avoiding or they are filled with aversion. Just because it's change, we are setting the intention to roll with the tides instead of trying to hold the tide in or push the tide away. Somebody sent me a meme last week of a guy where he was on the beach and the tide had come up and he was trying to nail the edge of the tide into the sand. It was very fun. I'm like, oh my God, that's so us. When we shift into wonder and curiosity, there is an opening to a much deeper wisdom. Our power is a shift from the perspective where not knowing could be seen as weakness and fearful, being powerless, to a perspective where not knowing could be seen as wonder and curiosity. Isn't that what curiosity is? Not knowing? And the ultimate source of power and strength lies there, not in the perception of knowing, thinking we have all the answers, because we already know. If you've sat for more than 20 minutes, you already know we don't have all the answers. You already know that the thoughts come unbidden and that we're not the thinker of thoughts. They just come and go, like everything else. No answers, lots of questions, but the practice helps us to rest even in that until we come to a point to where the questions and the answers are irrelevant. In connecting with our deepest desires does not involve knowing the answers to all of our questions, because it's only in not knowing that we can be truly receptive. It's the old story of the Zen master and the teacup. If your cup is full, there's no room for wonder. There's no room for amazement. There's no room for awe. There's no room for the surprises as you step out your door and suddenly there's a daffodil there where there wasn't the other day. In becoming truly honest with ourselves and learning the practice of unknowing, of non-attachment to the outcomes, we are inviting new possibilities and a natural flow into our lives. This is the gift of spring. And so anyone can learn to appreciate the changing of the seasons with some very simple, basic practices. So let me share a couple of these with you. So one practice, for example, that you can take with you this week is to choose a spot somewhere, maybe coming into your house or leaving your house or going into work, or just some place that you kind of pass by all the time, right? So pick a spot that you will pass on a regular basis and find maybe a tree or a park or a crack in the sidewalk or where dandelions and things grow or whatever. Just find a spot and make a habit of pausing there regularly, even if only briefly, It's some regular point that you normally would pass, on your way to your destination, on your way to your outcome. Find this spot and make this a sacred spot where you just pause, just for a moment. Make this a habit. And so next, bring awareness to the sensory experience of that spot. See the colors, the textures, the last pile of leaves and the birds beginning to emerge, and the new songs and the different buds. Listen to the breeze. Feel the bark or the leaves with your fingers and the sensations of your feet on the ground. Smell the air. Notice when the flowers begin to bloom. This can all be as short as just a few breaths. And if you practice with full awareness and nothing more, no concepts, no right or wrong, no measurements, no judgments, no labeling. Just find this spot that you pass by every day, and it becomes a sacred spot. In that spot, you notice the effects of time and the changings of the seasons, and you are present with it all. And you just be for just a moment, and then off you go to wherever it is you're going. That alone can change so much. And as you're standing there in this special spot that only you and the universe share together, invite in a sense of wonder, awe, and amazement. Nothing forced, just taking in the moment. A full sensory experience, free of concepts, judgments, labels, and decisions. When wonder manifests, you'll begin to notice how it feels. And that feeling is the reflection of wonder and amaze that the universe sees when it looks at us. It's a reflection. Nothing's being put there. It's always been there. It's just getting resonated as you develop a sense of amazement in that moment. The universe is just as amazed with you. I want to close by sharing this little poem by John Clare with you. All nature has a feeling. Woods, fields, brooks, they are life eternal, and in silence they speak happiness beyond the reach of screens and books. There's nothing mortal in them. Their decay is the green life of change, to pass away and come again in blooms revivified. Its birth was heaven, eternal in its stay, and with the sun and moon shall still abide, beneath their day and night, the heavens open wide.
Let's just take a moment to embody the teachings before we move into our art practice. Let's just take a conscious breath together. And today's heart practice is a metta or loving kindness practice. And we'll start by bringing to mind a full body image of yourself, the form that has been given your name. And you may wish to create some kind of outward gesture, maybe place a hand over your heart, or create the Anjali Mudra, the prayer hands, or just fold your hands in your lap. And with this image of yourself in your mind, silently repeat these words of loving kindness. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be safe from inner and outer dangers. May I be well in body and mind. And may I be at ease and happy. Conscious breath. And as you release this image from your mind, bring to mind the image of a friend or a loved one. And holding this image in your mind, may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. And may you be at ease and happy. In a conscious breath. And as you release this image from your mind, bring to mind the image of a difficult person in your life. Maybe a boss or a coworker, maybe a family member or political figure. And with the understanding that everyone deserves loving kindness, silently repeat these words. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. And may you be at ease and happy. A conscious breath. And as you release that image from your mind, bring to mind the image of the entire world. All the animals of the land, the sea, and the sky, all the plants. And with this image of the world in your mind, may we all be filled with loving kindness. May we all be safe from inner and outer dangers. May we all be well in body and mind. And may we all be at ease and happy. In a conscious breath, open your eyes and smile. And in the true spirit of dana, the Buddhist practice of generosity, temple services are given freely. In the same way, if you choose to give, please give with a generous heart, meaning not in return for anything that you've received here today, but so that others who may seek refuge in this Sangha may find it here in this temple. Dana boxes are located at the back of the meditation hall, or you can donate online. There are cards at the back of the seats that have a QR code you can scan. Thank you to all of our wonderful volunteers, and thank you to our TBC ambassadors, those who have committed to regular electronic monthly donations. It's not about the amount, it's just that the monthly donations help us to set a budget here at TBC. And if you would like to become an ambassador, just go ahead and scan the QR code on those cards. Thank you to Victor for sharing your wisdom with us. And thank you to Jordan for your beautiful music. And thank you to each and every one of you for sharing your heart and your practice with us here today. And let us prepare now to close our service with the Bodhicitta dedication. We will recite this one time, and then Victor has some announcements. So the Bodhicitta dedication, one time together. May the pure, brilliant sun of Bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. And with our hands together in front of our hearts, let us go forth from this place, entering each moment in innocence, guided by the wisdom of our hearts. And as we open our hands, open our eyes, shine our light into the world, namaste.
Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you, everyone. It has been such a delight this weekend to be connecting with so many of you. A couple of announcements. Don't forget downstairs, we have coffee and tea and delicious crumble cookies. And I hear from Carrie we have a really big batch coming today. So you might have to eat two. And also, don't forget, coming up on April 16th is the beginning of our Earth Week. Really, it's our Earth Week kickoff. And on the 16th, we have a tabling event. So there's over 20 different organizations will be coming to Temple Buddhist Center and Unity Temple, and they will be sharing information about their communities, their organizations, and how they are striving to make a change in Kansas City for environmental sustainability, environmental activism, political activism in regards to environmental topics and things like that. So it's really very informative and can really perhaps be the start of a new Sangha for you as you find a community that's engaging with the environment. Temple Buddhist Center partners with Bridging the Gap, and so that's where we go on our stream cleanups and park cleanups and planting trees and things like that. And then on the 23rd is our tree giveaway. We're busy trying to get more trees, so we're going to have those available for you that day. Their saplings are usually about like that, and they're indigenous trees. They're local to this area. So they'll thrive for you in wherever it is that you want to place it. Don't forget our newsletter and volunteer opportunities on the desk out front. There's a little sign-up sheet. Our lending library is burgeoning. And we have coming up is our 5-day silent meditation retreat called the Contemporary Contemplative, Exploring the New Monasticism. It does not mean that you have to shave your head and wear robes. Nope, that's the whole point of the new monasticism. I would like to point out that the painting you see behind there is actually from one of our very own Sangha members, Jake. So thank you so much, Jake Marshall. He is an amazing artist in watercolors. So he provided that, and I wanted to use it for this. And then, of course, I'll put this up there, which is just all kinds of wonderful things happening at Temple Buddhist Center. Each and every day, many wonderful recovery groups. Dave leads a Thursday night recovery group called Recovery Dharma. And then every Sunday at 12:30, we have a B12, or Buddhism and 12-Step Recovery, as well as Karen and Matt, who lead the Buddha and the Bean, which is every Tuesday morning. It's a 30-minute coffee with Sangha members to talk about awakening in all of its forms. Tai Chi Cha on Tuesday nights, so many wonderful things. Post-service discussion group is today at 10:15. Just as you exit the meditation hall, you go to your left, so there's time to get some coffee and cookies and join everybody for a discussion about the topic for today and how it applies to our lives. Again, thank you everyone so much. I wish you, as you go into your day, peace, blessings, and flowers. Lots and lots of flowers.